Hello all, my name is Shalini Singh and I have done my BTech in Civil Engineering and MTech in Hydraulic Engineering. This video is an introductory video about engineering mechanics and it should be helpful for all engineering students as engineering mechanics is the one of the most basic subjects that is required to study. So, first of all, what is engineering mechanics? Engineering mechanics is the application of mechanics to solve problems involving common engineering elements. Moreover, it is the physical science which describes and predicts the condition of rest or of motion of bodies under the action of forces. Modern engineering demands a high level of analytical capability, and the study of engineering mechanics builds a foundation of analytical capability for the solution of a variety of engineering problems. Working as a bridge between theory and application, engineering mechanics is used to formulate new ideas and theories, discover and interpret phenomena, develop experimental and educational tools. The primary purpose of the study of engineering mechanics is to develop the capacity to predict the effects of force and motion while carrying out the creative design functions of engineering. Now, mechanics may be divided into two: statics, which deals with the action of forces on bodies at rest, and dynamics, which deals with the motion of bodies under the action of forces. Now, dynamics is further divided into two parts: kinematics and kinetics. Kinematics describes the possible motions of a body or system of bodies, and kinetics, it is the study of the relationship between motion and the corresponding forces which cause the motion. The study of elementary mechanics is based on six fundamental principles: the parallelogram law of forces, principle of transmissibility, Newton's first, second, and third law, and Newton's law of gravitation. The parallelogram law of forces. If two forces acting simultaneously at a point are represented in magnitude and direction by the adjacent sides of a parallelogram, then the diagonal of the parallelogram passing through their point of intersection represents the resultant of the two forces in both magnitude and direction. So in this figure, we see that two forces F1 and F2 are acting at a point O of a body. Now, these two forces, F1 and F2, are represented by the adjacent sides OA and OB of the parallelogram OA CB. So, the diagonal OC will represent the resultant R in magnitude and direction. Principle of transmissibility. The condition of equilibrium or of motion of a rigid body will remain unchanged if the point of application of a force acting on the rigid body is transmitted to any other point on the line of action of the force. So here we see the figure of a rigid body. So the force F applied at point 1 of the body can be slided along its line of action. So F can be slided to point 2 here as shown in this figure. So the magnitude, direction and line of action of the force in both the figures do not change, and therefore equilibrium conditions of the rigid body remains unchanged. Newton's first law. We all know it states that every body continues in its state of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line unless it is acted upon by some external force to change that state. Now, the first law of motion is also called the law of inertia. Inertia is the property of a body to remain in its present state of rest or of uniform motion. Newton's second law. This law states that the rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the impressed force and takes place in the direction of the straight line in which the force acts. Moreover, the quantity of motion possessed by a body moving in a straight line is called momentum. It is the product of mass of a body and its velocity. So, if m equals to mass of a body in kg, u equals to initial velocity in meter per second, v equals to final velocity in meter per second, a equals to acceleration in meter per second square, t equals to time required to change the velocity from u to v, and F is the force required to change the velocity. So change of momentum will be equal to mv minus mu by t, which is equal to m into v minus u by t, which will be equal to m into a. So as per Newton's second law of motion, force is the product of mass and acceleration produced on the mass by the force. Newton's third law. This law states that to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. So action is the force exerted by a body on another body and reaction is the equal and opposite force exerted by another body on the first body. So here in this figure we see a body C of weight W is resting on a plane surface and it is exerting a force equal to its weight W downwards. So as per Newton's law, a reaction R equal and opposite to W will be acting upwards on the body C at the point A. In rockets, the action is the expelling of gas out of the engine and the reaction is the movement of the rocket in the opposite direction. The Newton's three laws of motion form a complete definition of force, and principle of reaction is used in ensuring equilibrium of bodies at rest, propulsion of jet aeroplanes and rockets, power production of steam, gas and water turbines, and propulsion of ship, etc. Newton's law of gravitation. Two particles are attracted towards each other along the line connecting them with a force whose magnitude is proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. So mathematically, it can be written as F is proportional to m1 m2 by r square or F equals to g m1 m2 by r square. Here g is the universal constant called constant of gravitation. Here, we see in the given figure that two bodies of masses m1 and m2 are attracted towards each other by a force F, which is given by this equation. So here it has been calculated that G is equal to 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg. Now gravitational force near Earth's surface is given by F equals to G capital M small m by r square, where capital M equals to mass of Earth. So the force acting on a body of mass m will be equal to m into A, which is equal to m into G, which will be equal to G m by r square. or G is equal to capital G, capital M by R square. So it has been found that G is equal to 9.81 meter per second square. Thank you for watching my videos. For doubts and suggestions, you can join my Discord channel whose link is given in the description below.